Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Tatami Talk. My name's Juan. This is my Uchikomi partner, Anthony. We're two judo players just talking about some judo. All right? So, Anthony, how you been? Haven't seen you in a while.
I mean, it's only been a week and a half. I've been doing some judo with my girlfriend in the garage as you finally got back to it.
Yeah.
You can see I'm in the dojo right now. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm
You snuck
training.
inside.
I snuck inside. There's a bunch of people training here behind me. So
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the videos that you put up of you and your wife training in your garage. You put the mats down or whatnot?
yeah, we put the mats down. I need to buy a couple more mats. I'm actually thinking about just selling those and getting proper mats because I'm tired of taping them over and over, and untaping them, taping them.
Yeah.
So maybe get some larger ones or just get some traditional tatami mats instead of the Dolomer mats I have. So
Yeah.
I'll see what happens. I haven't been training as often enough to justify spending more money or time on it. So
Well, it's tough right now. All you have right now is your wife to work with. At least you have someone to do judo with. I have no one to do judo with right now. My roommate just plays video games, and my wife plays video games as well. I'm just one here, just working out on my own, just using my stationary bike I got and just lifting weights, do Chikomi bands. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I tried to do my Muay Thai workout. I haven't trained Muay Thai in a while, so I tried doing it the other day, and my knee started buckling like halfway into the set. And I'm like, okay, I gotta swap it up a little bit. So
yeah. So what are you posting on your bad leg or kicking with your bad leg?
Yeah, I've been doing teeps, like the push kicks against the wall, and I was like doing 100, but like taking turns, so 50 on each side basically. And after like 25, one side started hurting, so I was posting on the other leg and just doing the rest of it on that side. So
yeah. Well, at least you gotta work out somehow. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I'm gonna check if my surgery is still on. I'm gonna call next week and see if they're still gonna have my knee surgery. And apparently they're giving out testing to everyone who's going in the hospital to get surgery. So maybe I'll get tested too and see if I have antibodies or something.
Yeah. Well, like I told you last week, me and my wife actually took one of the LA's doing free testing for people who live in Los Angeles, whether you have symptoms or not. So just to check, we went, got tested. We both came up negative. So either we had it and it's already gone, or we haven't had it yet. Neither of us showed symptoms. That's why I didn't want to waste time in going to do it, but she really wanted to. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So I'm clean right now. So I'm good. Right now I'm waiting in the mail to actually get this new face mask that's going to cover up my entire cover up my entire face. Going to have those straps in the back. So I'm probably going to do some grappling with that.
Okay.
So that'd be kind of cool to get.
Yeah. Can't wait. So today I think we're talking about marketing judo to adults.
Yes. How to get more adults to do judo. So what do you think? What do you think we need to do to market it to adults? How do we get more adults into judo and get adults to stay into judo?
I personally don't know if it's like a global problem since I haven't trained everywhere other than like in Japan and Hong Kong, I guess. But maybe like purely from Americans' perspective, I think we have it pretty bad. I mean, when I went to Japan, and there's a lot of adults that train, it's just that they train more casually and recreationally mostly.
Yeah.
They're not trying to kill each other. And you can still find those places, I'm sure. But here, it's kind of hard to be a recreational adult, I think.
Yeah.
Especially a recreational adult. Not just like an adult in general, but a recreational adult. I think obviously BJJ does a better job there, but people kind of debate what the causes are and what they can do about it.
We're an aggressive sport, and we just like doing aggressive things. So when we fight, when we do tournaments or we do run during class, it just gets more competitive, I think. So, and I think that we do, since it's such a aggressive art, that we do kind of weed out not the weak, but it takes a lot to let a person throw you around. I throw you hard, then you throw me hard, and we get up, we do it again, then we just leave, we walk away. It takes a lot to just get thrown.
I'm still working with my wife on that. She found it. She had a mental block throwing me, and this past weekend, she actually was able to get past that mental block and actually. Well, she didn't really throw me. She kind of pushed me, but it was better than nothing. So,
was you trying to teach her Sotogari?
Yeah, so she basically pushed me down instead of like throwing me. So but step by step.
All right. So with one of the things that I always find with adults that have trouble with judo, or at least one reason people drop out of judo, is that like one of the reasons why I came to judo is because I like competitive. I like to compete still. And I still wanted to compete even though I was out of wrestling in college. I wanted to get back into it and still compete. So that's where judo came in. But when the problem with judo is that when we go to competitions, adults are the least prioritized people. We're waiting to the end of the day, last mats. No one's there anymore. No one cares. They make you wait in the morning. You got to wait there for 5-6 hours till you get to fight. So I think that one of my humble opinions is that if we maybe fix that, it's like maybe give one mat. I'm not asking for 2 mats or 3 mats or half the mats. If we get 1 mat to start off the adults, I would be happy with that.
They do that, and like I think in nationals they did that. But
yeah, they do that at bigger tournaments, big tournaments. But I'm talking about at little tournaments. I know little tournaments is more like there's 4 mats, only 3 mats. It's the smaller tournaments, but you use those 2 mats for the youths, and then use the bigger mat. 1 mat for the adults, and start off with like adult black belts and adult brown belts, and then adult white belts or something. That way, you're prioritizing the adults and let them know, like, hey, we care about you and we understand you have other things to do during the day. Because I know it's other tournaments, they always talk about, oh, well, parents don't want to be here all day. They want to take their kids. Well, what about us? You make us come in and weigh in at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't fight until 5 at night sometimes, 5 in the afternoon. Or
I waited 8 hours one time. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that too. There's one time at Golden State Open. Was it Golden State Open? No. Nikkei Games. Nikkei Games. Yes.
I went to San Jose. I waited at least, I think I showed up, I weighed in at 8 and I didn't fight until 7.
Yeah.
Just to have my knee dislocate. So.
Yeah, just to get your knee messed up. So I think
and my eye poked. So
when people go for grips sometimes, they might come for your eyes, it's get you with a tiger claw. But so that's one thing with me is like when you try to get people to stick with judo as an adult, it's like, oh, I want to compete then. Okay, great. Yeah, we have competitions. We have stuff you can go compete at. But when they do one, it's like, oh, I weigh in at this time and I got to wait all day to fight. So I know that part. A lot of people, that's where it gets compared to BJJ. They have a set schedule. You weigh in here, your fight time's here, you're going to go at that time. And their times are really really well structured.
Yeah, I haven't competed, but I've actually attended a BJJ tournament because I always hear about how well run they were. And I wanted to go watch and support some of my teammates. And they weren't on time like to the dot, but it was within the hour at least.
Yeah.
And even then people were complaining. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're complaining about like them being an hour late.
Yeah, versus, I know, compared to us where we have to wait 5 hours to fight sometimes.
The worst part is not knowing when you're going to go, right? Because you don't know whether you should eat or take a nap, or I've seen people.
Should you warm up? Should you not warm up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I know one of the things that what is it that they try to do to help adults at tournaments is that they try to do this all the new things, do sessions. Where you're gonna be in session A, session B, the morning session, the afternoon session. You're gonna be the evening session, and even those, like, they're not even 100%. Like, they're not even that accurate.
I've been to a few that are, well, as you know, I go to the kids tournament a lot, so I've been to a few where they're on time, but it's totally up to whether injuries happen or not. Like sometimes severe injury happens and they're not supposed to move the person, obviously.
You gotta get on. You pick up that tatami. You pick up the whole tatami and move them. Okay. Well, just get a couple guys.
Well, if it's a neck injury, concussion, all that kind of stuff, or kids crying and like that all like just like domino effect cascades down. Yeah. So there's really not much you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I know a lot of people complain about when it comes to the adults is that when they do go compete, and because we're competing at the end of the day, the refs are tired. There's no one wants to work the tables anymore. So you get a lot of bad calls. You get a lot of bad calls where stuff that would be a wazadi by the end of the day, oh, that's Ippon by now.
I've seen a ref argue with the table about who won the tournament because I think he was just that tired.
Yeah.
I don't blame him, but it's like,
so
one person.
You're getting me now.
Yeah.
So it's now you're getting me. I waited all day to fight. Now I get to fight. And I lost the match because you call this wazadi and Ippon because you want to get out of here. You're tired of being here all day. So
I don't think it's intentional. I think, have you like done something like that before? It's pretty mentally draining, like focusing.
Yeah, I've when I got my
hold.
black belt, you had to mandatory do a tournament to get your black belt, to get certification as a ref. So I had to do a tournament, and I did it, and I was like, I didn't want to cheat anybody. I tried to be I tried to watch as best as I can, give the best say what this was Zadi, Wazete, Ippon, all the things. I was like, oh, no, you go right there. Then I look around, make sure, yeah, okay, I'm correct.
So
but I always try to give good calls.
In the end, it's just there's a shortage of refs, because if you have enough refs, you can have half of them ref half the day and go home, and the other half ref the other half of the day. Like, they already cycle refs, like let them have a break in between, but that's at some point you're not, that 10-minute break or 30-minute break's not going to be good enough when you ref the whole day.
Well, that would be cool too if they were to do that thing where they would be like a morning set of refs and an afternoon set of refs. But it's about making sure those afternoon guys show up. You don't wake up and like, it's 11 o'clock. I just got up. I'm gonna go ref now. So. Nah, I'm gonna stay home.
So the tournaments is one aspect. I mean, there's so many ways to improve the tournaments, but with limited resources and stuff. So I mean,
it's all volunteer. Like, I appreciate the refs. I appreciate people working the tables. So it's all volunteer. How judo's based.
What about just getting people into the dojo to train in general? Like, I mean, if you look at BJJ, most people don't compete either, and they have like high numbers. So,
well, I do think it's just about. To me, it's about. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole about this. But it's easy to lay down on the mat and work on armors and
you're gonna
chokes.
Hey, I know. I still want to go out and train and not get stabbed.
No, they use their style. They want to try to choke me out. They can try to choke me out. That's fine. I don't care about it. I'll tap. They want to hold up a little longer. Cool. Go ahead. Makes you feel big. Go ahead. But the whole thing is like, you can lay on your back.
It's less intimidating. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Even when like I said in judo, it takes a lot to just get thrown by a person and stand back up. There was a person that joined the judo club. They said they were a stunt person. They said they did all these stunts, knew how to do all these stunts. They'd done wire work and all these things. After I think like 3 classes, we had them do a throwing line, and it was me throwing them. I wasn't throwing them mean. I wasn't getting someone rough to throw them. I just got them, give them nice ogoshi. I threw them for the first time ogoshi. When they hit that mat, I saw in their eyes, it just looked like, oh my God, is that what I signed up for? Is this what this is?
The speed and the impact is just different.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
When you're a stunt person, you know what's going to happen. You can prepare for it.
So when I threw them down, they just looked at eyes like, oh my God, is this what I signed up for? And I'm like, are you okay? They're like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I knew they weren't coming back. And guess what? They didn't come back. So I don't know what to do. It's like, it's judo. It's throwing. Like, it's 75, 80% of what we do is throwing. And then you get to the mat, and then you go to submissions and pins and everything. But it is about throwing. And I know it is, if you're not used to it, if you didn't come from a wrestling background or sambo background, you're used to being tossed around. It's different being put in the air and hitting the ground. And you get the people that first start, they don't slap the mat, or you got to tell them, slap the mat. And they don't understand why. And then they get it later.
You just have to have them practice break falls. Like, just overall, I think most dojos don't practice break falls often enough, which is really funny because I haven't really been to any jiu-jitsu places where they train break falls, but when you go compete, you're going to get thrown most likely. It's allowed. So they barely train any break falls, but they throw people. And they're okay with it. But
because they're not big. A lot of what I see when I see BJJ or when I go train BJJ in places, when I go have fun, they're not doing big judo throws or big wrestling double legs. They're doing kind of like rolling ippons, where they attempt an uchimata, but you're almost halfway on the floor already by the time you finish uchimata. Or they'll try an ogoshi, and they already have one knee down when they're doing an ogoshi. So they're not like high impact falls like what we do, or in like wrestling or sambo. So they're almost halfway on the ground anyways. And you see most BJJ guys, just watch a lot of videos where guys just pull guard or just start on the ground anyways. It'd be like Hajime on the floor already.
Do you think more dojos should just like spend more time practicing break falls?
I actually tried that experiment one time when couple years ago, I tried doing like almost 2 weeks, or I did like 2 weeks, or almost close to a month of just doing break falls with them. And people were like, oh, they didn't say that they're bored, but you can see on their face like, oh, I want to learn how to throw. I want to do the big stuff. I want to do the throwing. I want to get to the good part. But if you don't know how to fall right, then you're going to end up hurting yourself.
So this is what I do. This is what I do with the kids class, because I do a combination of that. Like you have to have them to practice. You have to have them practice falling all the time. But again, they get bored. They want to throw, right? So that's when I pull out the heavy mat, right?
Okay.
Do you feel like I feel like most places underuse the heavy mat for throwing drills?
I guess so. You could, like, what do you mean? Like, you talking about the crash pad, or just like
the crash pad, the thick crash pad? Like, I think a lot of places don't use it often enough.
Well, a lot of places don't have crash pads. Like, we're lucky we have one. You can see behind Anthony, there's a black thing behind him. That's the crash pad we have. It's a good, like, 6 inches, would you say?
I've been looking for one myself at home, and it's so expensive. Like, none of them are. There's like none in the used market.
Yeah, that's this very specialty thing to buy right there.
But when I was learning as a white belt, that was one of the things that helped me with my break falls and my confidence on my break falls a lot. And focusing on relaxing is the crash mat, and we used it like a lot. Like, I think as a white belt, I think like 80% of our training was on there, of our throws were on there, and part of it has to do with how hard our floors are, and there's no way you can take that many falls throughout the day.
Well, depending on where you train at. Some people just put mats on concrete floors. People just put on hardwood floors.
On hard floor, So
like us, like our dojo, we have a nice subfloor. We have a cushion right there. We have 2-inch mats. My theory is that because we have the subfloors is why we have one of the larger adult classes. Yeah,
in the region, I think. So
because we have a nice place to land on.
I mean, well, it's not just like, I don't think people are actively coming to seek it. I just think people quit less often when they're not going home or having like bruises the next week. Because I would actually have like back pain and bruises back then when I was training hard floors. And,
well, it's like when you go to a tournament, man. Like, you have a couple, like, you go to a tournament, they're just putting mats on hardwood floors, and that's just on top of concrete. So when you go to a tournament, you get thrown really hard. You're just on a 1-inch mat landing on floor. So
when I was training on the hard floors, I can only train like 2 times a week, maybe 2 to 3 times max, and I'll need a break next week. But when I moved to this dojo with the soft floors, like I can do like 4 times, 5 times, and jiu-jitsu on the side. Like, the floors just make a huge difference.
Oh yeah. Well, really bad story. Like, I don't want to tell it to scare people, but I used to teach at an MMA gym a long time ago, and all this guy had was just pretty much like just puzzle mats. Like, they're just puzzle mats on top of this floor. And he was having me teaching grappling. I would teach, like, I call it submission grappling, because I would teach judo with wrestling techniques. I wouldn't call it BJJ because I'm not a BJJ guy. I'm a judo guy. I'm a wrestler with catch wrestling skills also. So that's why I call it submission grappling or submission wrestling. So one guy really wanted to test me one day and was fighting me really hard. So I threw him, and he ended up dislocating his shoulder.
Oh.
And
that's
it
what
was
happened
fine.
to my shoulder when I was white belt.
Yeah, I didn't want to throw him hard, but he tried to fight me and tried to push me down and stuff. So I just reversed him, and I threw him down, and he landed these puzzle mats. And like, he got messed up. Where if at that judo class, maybe there'd be more impact, would be better mats. So maybe he wouldn't hurt himself at that time.
Yeah, part of me wonder what happens in MMA if they didn't have those soft floors and just hard floors.
Oh yeah. Yes, like, people see judo throws in MMA and they're like, "Oh, the judo means nothing. They can't look at that. The guy got right back up." UFC uses like this really thick, nice mat, and they're just like, when I fought, like, I was wrestling.
They're soft floors, basically.
Yeah.
They're
on soft floors. Like, they're almost, I don't want to say it, but
it's
almost like a boxing ring, kind of. You know, they have a little bit of spring to
hear
it.
That sound.
Yeah, they have a little bit of spring to it. They have these thick mats, so yeah, there's a lot more protection there. Where if you get thrown just on a judo mat or puzzle mat or something just straight on concrete, it's gonna hurt so bad. And that's why some people quit judo, because it hurts so much. And you got to learn how to do break falls. And if I tell you like, good, keep break falling, and you get tired of it, then when you get thrown by somebody, you're not going to like it.
Without the heavy mat, it's going to hurt. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Until your body gets used to it. And part of it is, I mean, I think not part of it, a large part of it is the mental part, because you have to relax, but not to the point where you're like a noodle and get hit by the whiplash, but you have to relax or you're going to feel the impact.
So how do we market it towards more adults that, hey, you're going to be safe. Just learn how to do some falls and you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. How do we do that?
Well, I think it's kind of making it more, the falls hurt less and they'll come back. That's one thing, right? But how do you get them through the door in the first place? Most people haven't heard of judo.
Well, when I've seen stuff, it's just, I try to just talk to people about grappling. You know, people ask me about, I walk around with wearing Hayabusa shirts, UFC shirts and stuff. I have a UFC hat. My backpack's a Hayabusa backpack and stuff. People ask me, oh, shoot, you do MMA? You an MMA fighter? It's like, no, not exactly. I used to, but I don't anymore. I'm mostly just a grappler now. I teach karate on the side. I teach judo. Oh, judo? What's that? The Olympic sport? Like, yeah, the Olympic sport. And I just talk to people about it, tell them about it.
You actually met people who knew what it was? Like the Olympic sport?
Some people do. Some people know what it is, but they're not exactly what it is. They know it's an Olympic sport. And I got to thank Ronda Rousey and Kayla Harris for that one, you know?
Yeah.
They're the ones that's made it more popular. People know what judo is.
I feel like that hype's kind of died down, though. Like most of the people I spoke to don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, this is a while ago. Not a while ago, but you never, people know, people don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Or a lot of things is like they did BJJ. And then they heard about judo because the big thing is like, oh, well, BJJ cost me $200 a month. I can't afford that. But I heard that judo's cheap. Is that true? It's like, yeah, judo.
You're kind of fighting
usually under $50 a month.
You're fighting in the same market for someone who probably won't stay because they'll probably train something else or already are training something and training judo on the side. What we want to do is get new people that are like, oh, I want to pick up a sport or a martial art. And instead of going to that cardio kickboxing gym down the block that charged $200 a month for you to just kick a heavy bag all day, you want them to come to judo, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get those type of people that want something for whether it's self-defense or health, but they don't know anything about martial arts?
It's going to be that same thing you always hear about, like in MMA, education, more and more education about judo and what judo is. The only way to get that is to show people what judo is. And the bad thing is that demonstrations don't do that well. Demonstrations, you usually don't get a whole lot of students. What gets people interested in it is good fighters. So you need a good MMA fighter that's doing well to get people interested in the judo. Or maybe a TV show or a movie that use a lot of judo and stuff. Well, here's one thing actually. When John Wick Part 1 came out, I did notice a little bit of an uptick of people interested in judo and learning how to do these throws.
But that you see how quick it was for BJJ. They actually had marketing material out saying, "Oh, Keanu Reeves trained with one of the Machado brothers." Okay. And they had like YouTube videos plastered all over. So it's like everyone's like, "Oh, John Wick!" Like Keanu Reeves was wearing a Hyperfly gi, and it's all like BJJ stuff like plastered everywhere. So now people associate John Wick with BJJ if they actually know martial arts at all. But nobody thought about judo or that he trained judo and sambo or that.
Well, that's what. Like I said, I saw a small uptick in it, but yeah, in the videos where it shows him training, he is wearing a BJJ.
What I'm saying is judo or IJF or USA Judo, whatever, wasted a huge chance to market judo, right? They could have like got a deal going with Keanu Reeves or like some sort of sponsorship, because most people online, I was talking to them, they don't even know that Keanu Reeves got an honorary black belt from the Japanese.
He got an honorary 6 months, 7 month, 6 or 7 month.
Well, he got an honorary black belt for, I guess, like for John Wick, I guess, because he was doing judo, but most people don't even know that. So it's like it's part of the humble parts of judo that's kind of biting ourselves in the ass. I think that they should be out there like bragging about it kind of a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that is true. We need to jump on more stuff. Like you remember when Ronda Rousey was fighting, every time Ronda Rousey would fight in the UFC, USA Judo would sponsor UFC at that time, and they would put up like on one of the panels.
Really? I've never seen it.
I always noticed it. That was one thing I always noticed. There would be a USA Judo panel at the UFC every time Ronda fought. But they're not doing the same thing for Kayla Harris when she fights in the PFL. So maybe they felt burned when Ronda did it. They didn't feel their money was being used right. I don't know what. But it's just about putting the word out. I don't know. Like, we put out judo videos. We try to hashtag stuff. You know, it's just getting people to see it and do it. And putting it out there also is that how cheap judo is, you know?
So get this. You know the term weeaboo, right?
A what?
A weeaboo? Yeah. Like people who are like obsessed with Japanese culture. So a lot of those people are attracted to like martial arts like karate and aikido and Iaido, which is the sword drawing, drawing the Japanese, you draw a Japanese katana, like that martial art. But most of them haven't heard of judo, I think. And back in the 80s, I think there was a judo anime called Yawara.
Yeah.
And
I think it was the 90s.
It was 90s? Okay.
I think it was the 90s.
So there tends to be a correlation between what the current shonen anime that's popular. There's one sports, like right now there's one called Haikyuu, right? Volleyball. Volleyball is like super popular now with all my friends. Everyone's talking about playing volleyball, trying volleyball.
Just like that ping pong one was big for a little while.
Ping pong was big for a while. When I was as you know, I got a road bike, so I've been doing research on road bike, and I watched this road bike anime called Yowamushi Pedal, and I was doing research on what parts to buy because I had to fix the tire, and I wanted to get a GPS tracker so my wife knows where I am, and I'm not like run over by a car.
Man,
somewhere.
She's keeping track of you, isn't she?
So I
in case you get lost or hurt, right?
Yeah. I was online looking on forums, and people were saying, how did you guys get into road cycling? And they were like, oh, I watched the anime. I Yowamushi Pedal. I watched it, and I wanted to go. I've always rode a bike, but I never actually went racing or rode a road bike. So I feel like there's time. It's time for another judo anime. Is what I think.
Okay, you call Funimation and you tell them I want a judo anime. All right, you go tell them that. See what they say.
I mean, that's something that IGF can do, right? I mean, they did a short animation clip for the Olympics, for the Paralympics. Yeah, I don't know if some people. I've seen it posted on Reddit. I actually posted it a couple times, I think. But they're basically doing there's this blind girl that started judo as a kid and wasn't blind, but she became blind, and now she's blind and fighting in the Olympics, and it's based off a true story. Yeah, and the animation was nice. Yeah. The story was good. Like, they could have totally built something off of that. It was pretty popular, I think, and people were like teary-eyed and stuff. So if you were IJF or USA Judo, like, I mean, you could totally partner with someone.
USA Judo isn't going to spend money on anime. Okay, tell you that much.
I can tell, obviously, but IJF.
Okay. IJF or the Japanese Judo Federation could do it or something. But yeah, I like your theory about like the top anime, whatever that is, people are going to start doing it. I know, did ninjutsu get an uptick when Naruto was out?
Totally.
Did it really? Oh my God.
Well, if you look on YouTube, like, I mean, one thing you can do is look at Google Analytics or Google Trends to see what people Google. And you can see like the views on ninjutsu videos. Like, there's actually some ninjutsu instructors out there. Like, the search for it is just like going up, basically.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there are some avenues that I think, I'm not saying you have to do an anime, but I'm just saying that's one thing that people don't really think about.
All right. So next time
is thinking outside the box.
When John Wick Chapter 4 comes out, we need to just get on that right there. Every throw he does, we show it in judo. We demonstrate the judo style of it. We demonstrate how is it in judo. We just need to advertise more. We need to just advertise more.
I mean,
and get more education. You know,
pay Keanu Reeves to do demonstration videos. Like, it might not be the best technique, but he did it in a movie, so it has to be good enough, right? But you have him say, like, this is Seo Nage and do Seo Nage. This is Uchimata and do Uchimata. This is Juji Katame and do Juji Katame. Like, that's a way of advertising too.
Yeah. just education. That's how we just got to get more people into judo, just by educating them. All right.
Yeah.
So with that, let's go into something else that I hear a lot of adults always talk about is, how about leg grabs? Why is there no leg grabs in judo? Why is there no leg grab techniques in judo? And the answer is yes, there are leg grab techniques in judo.
That's how I got my first concussion.
The only thing is that the past 8, 9, 10, 12 years now or so.
2012 was when they banned them, I think. Totally.
2012? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the IGF said that we look too much like wrestling. And so we had to take leg grabs out of competition. So because it's not a competition technique, a lot of senseis, a lot of teachers, a lot of coaches decided, well, if I can't use it in competition, my guys can't do it in competition, why am I going to teach it? So in a lot of places just dropped it. I know us over at our dojo, I like leg grab techniques. So, everything all right?
Yeah, I think my neighbor's playing loud music. Sorry, I'll mute myself.
No worries. So the thing is that there's no leg grab techniques in competition anymore. There used to be a thing where, okay, you could do it as a reversal. Okay, we got to take that out. Okay, so we do it, and the first one is Shido. Okay, that didn't work. So you do it as a Hansakumake, disqualification. Okay, no, that didn't work. So let's take that out. So the thing is that in competition, you can't do leg grabs at all, or also Hansakumakes. All right, if you get 3 of them, you get disqualified. So people always ask, like, oh, well, can I do a double leg? Well, judo has Murotogari, but you can't do it in competition. So like I was saying with us, I do a thing where if I'm teaching class and it's Fridays, I do like a little leg grab Friday technique. And I'll teach old school techniques doing leg grabs. I'll teach Murotogari or a single leg into Osotogari or something. Or just any of the old leg grab techniques. So
I guess we're not going to be just talk about something that's been talked to death, which is like why it should come back or whether it's going to come back, which I don't think it will. But I want to talk more about how we can keep it in judo and keep it alive and effective, and not have it turn into something like striking in judo, which is like exists, but it's
only in kata now.
Only in kata, and you probably it looks like it hasn't evolved with the times and doesn't work, right? No. So how do we prevent leg grabs from going that way?
Well, like I said, with me, I like leg grab techniques. That's why I do this whole thing where I do if I'm teaching, I'll do leg grab Fridays, and I'll go through 1 or 2 leg grab techniques and how to do them in different ways. But the thing is, like, it's up to all coaches, all senseis to do that.
Yeah, so
some senseis are just like, it doesn't work for me.
That's at the local level.
Well, not the local level, but okay.
How would you do it system-wide, like promote it system-wide versus saying like my dojo does leg grabs?
Well, technically it is pretty system-wide because they are in the katas. So you do have to learn them.
But you don't. How many places have you been to where you do randori with leg grabs?
Mine. I'll do randori leg grab days. I'll do it.
So I was listening to the Judo Chop Suey podcast, like with the other podcast with Dave Roman. Okay. And he was interviewing the guy from Hollywood Pal, and they made a good point, was that how many adults actually compete at the top level? Let's not even talk about Olympics or World Championships or Grand Slam. Let's just talk about nationals. How many adults that are training actually end up competing in nationals? Or even compete? Not that many, right?
I compete at nationals. You compete at nationals.
Yeah, but think about
half of our dojo competes at nationals.
Percentage wise, it's not a lot.
Okay.
So why do we have these rules that are targeting towards like the very top level of judo?
Well, here's the thing. This is one thing I always say to people when they ask me about, well, why can I do leg grab techniques in class? And it's because I don't want you to get dependent on doing a Murotogari on a guy or Kataguruma or going for a leg grab technique as a secondary move, because you're going to get used to it. And then when you do go compete, you're going to go for a move. I'm like, oh, shoot, it didn't work. Let me go for a leg now.
So this goes back to the marketing to adults, right? So what happens if me as a person, or if I'm a small girl, which leg grabs is very effective on taller people, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
They get smashed. They get sprawled on. They get smashed.
untrained against an untrained person, I think leg grabs are really effective for people smaller. But that's besides the point. The point is, for those people who don't compete or are coming in saying like, well, why were we not practicing this? I don't plan to compete. Like, or why can't, what? I think it's more effective if, let's say, you know how they already have modified rules, like brown belts and below, you can't armbar.
Yeah.
Kids can't choke. So why not just have something where, like, if you're a kid, then you can't leg grab because they're targeting those kids for Olympics. But as an adult, like, why does it matter? You're not going to Grand Slam. You're not going to the Olympics.
Because the rules always come down to the IGF, and all local federations, all local tournaments, all follow those rules for the most part. That's just how it is.
I feel
unless
like
you want to do COSEN rules, unless you want to do COSEN, okay.
Well, you don't have to go full, like, it's not either 1 or 0 or 100. I'm just going by like other things that can change, right? Because I think they tried to hold a couple of COSEN tournaments, and the numbers were okay, like, but I don't see them hosting any more tournaments, so there has to be a reason, right?
Well, it's because it has to do with the coach and the school. That's just how it has to be. If you come to a school, it's a competition school, and it's based about going to tournaments and competing, you're going to work on techniques mostly for competition. I guess if you maybe go to a more casual school, it's for fun and just to do judo, or you liked it as a kid and you continue doing it, and they're less about competing, then maybe they do more leg techniques there.
Every school I know of that like full on includes leg grab techniques and actively spar with them, all that kind of stuff, they're not part of USA Judo, USJF, or USJA. They're part of like either AAU or Freestyle Judo or some other or their own organization.
Yeah, well, those guys aren't going to be part of USA Judo. Their members aren't going to go all the way to IJF.
I'm saying, which I think is ridiculous, that as someone who's joining a judo, you have to pick between those two extreme ends, and
you don't.
Not
it's not that you have to pick. You don't have to pick those extreme ends. It's like how I say here at our dojo. Okay, when it's our main sensei teaching, he mostly teaches competition stuff. When I teach, or when he's on vacation, I try to teach stuff. I teach more stuff that isn't taught all the time, but is still told to us to teach at tournaments, or not tournaments, but when you go to big tournaments, you go to some coaches meetings, and you always say, "Hey guys, I know Monotogari and Kataguruma, just because those are the two most popular ones. Mm-hmm. You can't do the competition anymore, but you should still teach them to your guys." You know, and most people learn those moves anyways when they want to get their black belt, because you're supposed to learn them in the kata.
But you honestly think at the rate that we do things right now, like once in a while on Fridays, like even at our dojo, let's say our dojo practices leg grabs all 100% of the time, right? Mm-hmm. Even in Randori, like, you don't think like 20 or 30 years from now, leg grabs will like be forgotten in a sense?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. You still got old school judo guys that still do heel hooks and knee bars. Okay.
I don't think they're learning it from judo though.
I think if they read the old Kano's old book, they're shown in there. And then if you go to the higher level,
practicing is a different thing.
Then you get the higher level. If you want to get your second dan, you have to learn them anyways in the second dan kata.
Yeah, but you're not actively training all the time. I mean, like 30, 40 years from now, think about it. How I'm going to be like in my 60s, right?
Yeah.
60s, 70s. You're going to be in your 80s, 90s.
Hey, all right. I'm still be on the mat, all right.
So I'll
be heel hooking young kids and stuff, all right.
Let's assume we have, like, let's say 20 guys from our dojo still does judo 30, 40 years from now, and mm-hmm. let's say half of them are teaching. So let's say 10 of them are teaching, right? That's 10 people that knows leg grabs in this area that have been training leg grabs, is what I'm saying, assuming what we said before. You think those 10 people are going to be enough to continue this leg grab tradition and knowledge?
I will be teaching leg techniques until I can't do leg techniques no more. I will be teaching proper Motogaris. I will be teaching proper Katagurumas and stuff. I'll be teaching proper single legs and Ochigaris, because that's my favorite techniques to do to people when I get open rules. It's that I will be teaching that stuff until I can't do it no more. And the teaching.
So you're saying someone from New York who wants to learn leg grabs will have to fly all the way to California with pay a plane ticket, pay lodging, pay the dojo mat fee to learn leg grabs?
Yes. Please, if you're in New York, please come and learn from me. I will teach you. Come.
Well, right now, I still think there's still people out there who know leg grabs, but again, I think if we let it continue the way it is right now, I think it's not going to go to a good place, and judo is just going to get watered down even more. That's my opinion. But
I think it comes in ebbs and flows, and the reason I say that is because when judo became an Olympic sport, people just focused on the ippon. They were focused on just judo throwing ippon. That's all they focused on, and newaza got neglected. Time passed, things changed. People got back into doing newaza again, and now you're seeing great newaza players in judo doing judo newaza. Great pins, great arm bars and stuff. Really cool submissions and pinning.
So what you're trying to say is judo is going to split off again, and we're going to have a leg grab only, version of judo, right?
The only reason we got rid of leg grabs is because the IJF, not IJF.
But
IOC.
why do I care? I'm not going to Olympics. So
well, then you should learn judo techniques. You should learn all judo techniques. You should learn everything then.
All right. When this is all over, I don't care. I'm gonna leg grab every single day.
Go ahead. I will shido you every day. Then.
What new white belt comes in, I'm gonna take a room of him.
Go ahead, take a room. I will kataguruma the shit out of you. All right. And I ain't talking about the nice one. I'm talking about old school kataguruma. I'm gonna pick you up right here on my shoulders, lift you up a little bit.
That will just be me and you training. Just you know how important it is to have different training partners for your technique.
Yes,
to develop them. So we need more people doing leg grabs.
That's why I do certain days that I do Friday leg grab techniques. We tried that also.
That's you. I'm saying we need more people.
Trust me,
that does it.
There are other people in the country teaching leg grab techniques still. Okay, there are still people out there still doing it. It's not just me.
I'm not denying it, but I think most of them are just doing compliant drills, and then like randori for like 10 minutes once a month or something like that.
Most people train to win. And how are you going to win? You do not traditional, but you do tachiwaza mostly. You do tachiwaza, depends. That's how you win. That's how most people are going to train. But if you want to be a well-rounded judo player and know all of judo, you should learn all the techniques in judo, not just the tachiwazas and the pins.
What you're saying is you don't want to do anything, and you just want to continue the path, let things go the way they're going to go right now.
Here's my perfect scenario.
Flow naturally.
Here's my perfect scenario. This is what I would love to happen if the IJF or USA Judo or the IOC allowed us to do it, is that we would allow leg techniques again. And we'd either turn it into leg techniques would only be wazari. So you might get people that just do shoot double legs, shoot morotogari. So they shoot 2 morotogaris, get 2 wazaris, wazete, ippon. Or you make any leg grab technique that they do and get a point from it, it's only a yuko. You have to bring back yukos and just use yuko, and only use yuko as an advantage.
See, I know what you're saying, but that's my ideal scenario too. But if I was like in charge of the IJF, but we're not, and IJF already, like through Neil Adams, already said it's not coming back in any shape or form.
That's for right now. Things change, times change, man.
Well, maybe when they die, yeah.
Hey. I ain't wishing death on nobody, okay? I don't wish nobody to die. I wish everybody's good, everybody's healthy, all right?
So that's your stance, right? But this is what I would do. From less realistic to the most realistic option. Less realistic option is I would get a bunch of people who think the same way, maybe get some jiu-jitsu gyms and start our own tournament, which is basically judo, like Kosen judo rules, right?
Yeah.
Judo leg reps. That's kind of hard because you guys get the money together and all this stuff. And with all the stuff happening now, that's not likely going to happen.
It's not going to happen for a while. Tournaments, they pretty much all canceled all the tournaments the rest of the year for the most part, it seems like.
Yeah. So,
but no, I like your idea, and I've seen it happen. I've watched Kosen judo tournaments. But the problem is that when you do invite Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys in there, and even some wrestlers, Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys don't really have good takedowns, or sloppy takedowns. They end up getting hurt, or you just end up seeing really bad force throws. You don't see good monotogaris or katagurumas and stuff. It's just, I would love to do it, and it would take time.
It'll be like ADCC.
I guess, yeah. As long as no butt scooting and no one's pulling guard, they understand that, then it'd be great.
Yeah, Fight to Win has rules like that, but I have my own complaints about Fight to Win. But
Well, it'd be like how was it Sakuraba's quintet supposed to be?
Yeah.
You know.
So the more realistic option, I think, is to like. I personally would put up a prize pot. Like, it's not going to be thousands of dollars, but I would put up like a couple hundred. And if someone else like wants to chip in, like you can put together a prize pot at one of the judo tournaments where you have leg grabs allowed, and that would incentivize people to sign up, right? And start from there.
That would be an interesting thing to do. That you also, instead of just a normal tournament, you add a Kosen division as well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you have to have people that are willing to stay there all day, because of course the Kosen matches would probably be the last match of the day.
What if now that I think about it, what if you are an adult and you sign up for the leg wrap rules and you get to go first, so you don't have to wait all day? I bet you people will sign up for that.
I bet you sign up for it, but I do not see any tournaments being like, yeah, you want to know what? Let's do these Kosen rules the very first thing. We're not going to give adults a mat, but let's give Kosen a mat. Let's give those guys a mat.
Yeah, they get to go first. I'm sure people will start lining up around the block to
let's get these guys out of here first. No, but I think if you want to do leg grab techniques, then you have to do Kosen rules, but you have to have people understand the rules and fight by the rules. They can't come in and be like, oh, well, I can do this in wrestling, but this ain't wrestling. Oh, but I did this in Sambo. This ain't Sambo.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that other than changing the point system back to the way it was. So
yeah, that's very interesting, I think. I think it'd be kind of
I'm just trying to think outside the box.
It's fun to play with. And if I'm the only person teaching leg techniques in 30 years, I guess I'll be like Kwai Chen Kane and wander the world teaching leg grabs.
Well, I think just like me, most people are probably going elsewhere to practice their leg grabs and leg locks and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've pretty much given up on learning it from judo. So that's one of the major reasons why I'm training BJJ, so that I can grab legs and practice it. So.
Yeah, it's such an easy thing to do is just grab a leg. But I get it. It's what I do at catch wrestling. When I go to catch wrestling, if I can't throw a guy, then I'll go to my secondaries and stuff. I'll go for a single leg, take the back. So, but it's different. The things that you do, different grappling styles for different things, you know? I don't go to BJJ school and say, hey, I want to do judo rules. You know, I don't go to catch wrestling and say, hey, I just want to do straight up American freestyle wrestling. Nah. That's why you do other styles.
Yeah. I think people are kind of sick of hearing about leg grabs at this point. So.
Yeah. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed our podcast this week. Hope you had some interesting things. Hope you learned something. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at @thegr8_Juan. If you want to follow Anthony,
I'm Anthony Throws. I'll link it in the description as always. So
all right. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this. Tell people about it. Try to get us more bigger, get us some more fans, and just help us out.
All right. Thanks. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Later.